Getting an interview is tough enough these days, and now you need to impress them in an interview, get them to like you, and be memorable too? Yeah, you do. So in this video, I'm going to share 8 ways to do just that. My name is Camilo. I am a certified career coach and certified resume writer with over 15 years of recruiting experience. In those 15 years, I interviewed hundreds of professionals by myself, sometimes on an interview panel, and to this day, I still have people I remember interviewing because they did those little things just to stand out. And I can recall comments by other interviewers that made candidates stand out to them too. So I always made note of that because I always enjoyed prepping my candidates before their interviews, and it just stuck with me because I used to prep all of my candidates and teach them ways to really stand out in an interview. Today I'm going to share those memorable traits with you, and keep in mind these are really for candidates who are already qualified for the job. You've already met the hard skills for the position. You meet the minimum qualifications for the role. These are those little things that help you stand out a little bit more. So today I'm going to share those memorable traits with you. Keep in mind, these go above and beyond being already qualified for the job. So say you already meet the minimum qualifications for the position, you have all the hard skills or maybe the technical skills that you need for the job. So for this video, that part's a given. I'm going to now focus on those little ways to be memorable and stand out, those little intricacies that put the cherry on top. Number 1, mirroring. A lot of people talk about mirroring and they talk about hand gestures. So if you're talking to somebody and they have big gestures, they move a lot, whatever that is, it doesn't have to be like that. Your mirroring should be subtle. It can be a huge advantage to you in an interview. So we're talking about matching the interviewer's energy. If they're very high energy, talk really fast, move really fast, maybe increase your energy a little bit. Don't be so laid back. Or if the person is extremely laid back, the interviewer goes right into the job, not a lot of small talk, maybe you kind of decrease your energy a little bit, be a little bit more laid back as well. Don't start bringing up a personal conversation or weekend plans if they haven't already done that. So you want to just keep it subtle. Don't be fake, just keep it subtle and be aware. Number 2, small talk and side conversations. These conversations go such a long way. I talk about that a lot with my clients and remind them to, again, not be fake. You want to keep it subtle. Don't get caught in a lie. Don't agree with somebody just because they said something when you really don't agree with that. So instead, you want to bring up a commonality maybe from their LinkedIn profile. If you grew up in the same town, if you went to the same college, something like that. Or you want to share a story about your last volunteer activity that you did because you know that organization is really involved in that certain nonprofit organization, something like that. Or something that worked for me once was commenting on something in my interviewer's office. Quick side story. I grew up in Wisconsin. I am a Packers fan. I was interviewing with somebody in California, walked in and noticed that his mouse pad was the Green Bay Packers. I couldn't believe it. So I could not wait to bring that up because if anybody knows football, you know that talking football can last the whole interview, really. So I definitely made it to my advantage, made sure that we talked a little bit about the job, and then I just had to say, by the way, why are you a Packers fan? And of course, just got him talking, and I aced that interview probably better than any other interview. Any of those little things just to start a side conversation, again, those go such a long way because he interviewed probably 16 other people, but he remembered that I was a Mouse fan. He remembered that I was a Packers fan, and that definitely helped me in the process, I'm sure. One other reason these side conversations work is it's a way to kind of talk about yourself outside of your resume and outside of you professionally. It's a time to show a little bit of your personality as well. Number 3, answering how are you? That's typically the first question in any interview anyway. So you want to answer it in a way that is conversational and kind of triggers even more talk. So you could say something like, I'm doing great. I'm actually training for the marathon this year and I had a really good run last night or this morning, whatever that was. Or bring up something about your current job. We had a great product launch this week. It exceeded our expectations. Or if you want to say something else about you personally, I'm doing well. I've been looking forward to this interview all week because that meant my dentist appointment was over too. I know it's kind of cheesy, but you know the point. Say a little something that then can maybe trigger a little bit more of a conversation after that. Having something unique to answer how are you is so important. It can go a long way. Number 4, research the company. And I'm saying really research the company. So if you're in marketing, of course, you're probably going to already look at their social media platforms. But I'm talking about looking outside of that, looking outside of your area. So maybe you share a specific stat about the company or recent news or an award that the company received. You want to comment on that because it shows your genuine interest in the organization outside of just your area and what you would be doing for them. Number 5, hook them. Isn't that what they do in Texas? Hook them. You want to have a hook for your interview, a hook that really tells them about you and makes you stand out. Typically, this hook helps you answer, tell me about yourself, or it's something that you definitely want to share in every single interview. I have a previous video that I created about this. I created an actual formula that you can use to help you answer this, because tell me about yourself or walk me through your resume, something like that is really a time for you to share something unique about yourself that is also going to stand out from other people in the process. Number 6, this is something that goes farther than you thought to. It's just be on top of it. So if it's a in-person interview, be first to put your hand out for a handshake. If it is a video interview, make sure you're logged on early so you're there when they log on. And if it's a phone interview, answer on the first or second ring. It just helps to be on top of it, shows you're ready, shows you're prepared, you're being proactive, and you're really taking this interview seriously. Number 7 is actually something not a lot of people talk about, but it's saying somebody's name. So as you're in an interview, if they ask you a question, you can just say, yeah, Karen, yeah, good question, thank you. Saying their name, when you say somebody's name, just like when you hear your own name, you automatically perk up, you pay attention to what they have to say, you're kind of re-engaged, and it builds a different kind of rapport, a little closer bond with who you're talking to as well. So I highly recommend it. Now, when it comes to a panel interview, if there's multiple people, it's okay to say everybody's name. You don't want to say it too much and be a little creepy, but just saying their name once throughout the interview process, it'll make a big difference. Number 8, I'm clumping some of these basics together because they may be obvious, but I still feel like they're important to share. So things like this: be on time, don't be too early, and definitely don't be late. Dress professionally, and it's okay to have a little pop of color. Some people feel like they have to look all bland or all one color or dress boring for an interview, but you don't. You can make it a little fun if you want. Don't forget to smile throughout the interview. Even over the phone, people can hear a smile over the phone too. Ultimately, be authentic, be grateful, show gratitude at the beginning and the end of every interview. You want to be humble, give other people on your team, give bosses like the respect that they deserve. If they were part of a story, if it was somebody else's idea, go ahead and share that. Ultimately, you want to be positive and you want to be honest and show your authentic, true self in an interview. Okay, that is all 8 of them. So think of these details as if you've made it to the top 3 or 5 candidates along the process and they're deciding who's going to move on to the next round or who's going to go on to the final interview or who's even going to get the offer. These little things will go such a long way, trust me. So if this video was helpful, please like and subscribe so you're notified of future videos. If you have any other tips, share them in the comments. Or if I've missed any, or if you have any questions, or if you have any other topics you want me to cover in the future, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.